Hi, welcome to Dogman Teepee Hunting, and if you're listening to this, it'll be on the Interdimensional Voyagers podcast. I've got this on because it's like so warm. It's quite a warm evening. So I thought, well, I'm up in a padded room, basically the bedroom. I thought, well, it's quite warm up here, so I didn't want to put the fan on because that will interfere with the microphone and the noise. I didn't want it to create any noise. I want it nice and quiet so I can hear our amazing guest that's coming on. Her name is Chris, um, and if I believe rightly, she's from Utah, and she's got some amazing accounts to share. Now, remember, do appreciate it. I really do. If you would subscribe and like the channel, it really helps, especially for a small channel like this, to know that I'm bringing you the right content. Um, and if I'm not, leave a comment and say, look, Phil, can you change it? Can you do this? Maybe can you stop completely? Whatever. But just let me know, and that'd be great. But if you can like, share, and subscribe, really does help, and I do appreciate it. Right, without further ado, I'm going to bring Chris on, lovely lady, and this is just a nice informal chat. Okay, no pressure at all. Okay, here we go. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Phil. How are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, not too bad. It's warm though. It's about let's have a look. At the moment, 19 degrees, and it's like 9 o'clock in the evening here. So it's
Wow,
quite sort of, mm,
it's
quite.
106 here today, so I know we have different. I'm Fahrenheit near what Celsius?
Yeah, yeah, we're Celsius.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But do you know? I can remember as a kid years ago, and this is another strange thing. When I was growing up, it was in Fahrenheit. We had stuff in Fahrenheit. I grew up knowing Fahrenheit. And then I think as we went into the European Union, it all went to Celsius, and but
Mhm,
I prefer that. I much prefer that. It's like we used to have pounds and ounces as well, um,
mhm,
but now it's like pardon me, gone over more to like kilograms and grams, and yeah, it's just very complicated. I prefer
mhm.
the old, but then I am old anyway, Chris. Yeah, yeah, so, so it's just, I'm not a young thing like you. I'm kind of like, and I'm showing it. I'm like 50 miles of rough road tonight. I do look like 50 miles of rough road, and you caught me on the hop because I thought it was going to be later this interview, and I didn't realize I got the timings wrong, and I was just about to jump in the shower. I thought, great, I got loads of time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I jump in the shower, come back out, get all cool down a bit, and boom, yeah. But I'm pleased you messaged. Thank you for letting me know because it means I can get an early night, which is really good.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you're on because you've had some experiences. I think paranormal and cryptid as well. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, right. In your own time, if you could tell us about some of the notable ones from that you can remember when you were younger.
Okay. So it started out. I was about 6 years old, and it was in 1983. And my family and I just moved into a new home, and it was pretty late, and we were all tired from the move, and my sister and I shared a room and a bed, and I guess I probably should talk about the area, huh?
Yeah.
It was a suburban area. Like the front was led to a busier street. So if we were going from the front side, it would lead over to maybe about 7 blocks from where we lived. There was like a busy city, but in the back there was like thorn bushes. So like there was no one back in the back of our yard, and there was like a line of trees up against the fence and away from the thorn bushes. But
Mhm.
behind the thorn bushes, there about a mile and a half from there was like a river, and more forested back that way. And so uh, it was a dead end street, so it wasn't super busy or anything um, at that time. Um, and so we were in bed, my sister and I. She's 4, and at the time, sorry. And while we were sleeping, we jerked awake, and I don't know if it was a feeling we had. I don't remember exactly, but there was some like entity floating above us, and it had like long, skinny fingers. I didn't see any feet. It just looked like it was like a gown or something laying on, like a really big dark gown with a face and some hands.
Uh-huh.
And it was very creepy. It gave off this, you know, uninviting feeling. And I
Yeah.
guess my mom's seen it floating above us and goes, "Oh no!" And she gets up and goes in our room and says, "Get out of here in Jesus' name!" And like it had this really creeped out expression, and then it just disappeared. And I don't know how long after this, but it was about 10 o'clock at night approximately, and everyone in the house again was sleeping. And we my sister and I were, obviously asleep, and then like we heard this tap 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 sound, and like jumped up, and we were, kind of dazed, and just we looked at each other, and then we heard the tap 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 again, and we look at the window, and there's this angry looking creature standing outside the window, and it was snarling, and you could like feel the window shaking and stuff, um or see the window shaking because it was growling, and it like just made it rumble. And it had red eyes, pointy ears. It was very furry, probably like slightly darker than the character Chewbacca from Star Wars. And um, it just gave off this vibe of it didn't not want us there. Like we were intruding on its territory type feeling. And my sister, I don't know if she was just silly or brave or what, but she goes, "I'm too tired for this," laid down, rolled over, and went back to sleep. She
Okay.
Years later, she told me that it was because she thought I would take care of her because I was her big sister.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So
And she saw it though, Chris. She saw this thing.
yes, yes, we talked about it years later, and yeah, and she remembered it. She didn't really want to talk about it that much. Some people just don't, and for her, it didn't traumatize her, I guess, but me, it scared me. Like I don't know how long it was there, but it seemed like a long time, and I had this feeling like if I didn't keep staring at this thing, that it would come inside and take us or something. I don't know why
Yeah,
I felt like
sure.
that. It was pretty creepy. I mean, especially at 6 years old, it's
I tell you what, Chris, what I'm gonna do, I don't normally do this on like a recorded thing, but I'm gonna do this because I want your opinion. I had uh, a gentleman on some time back. It's last year. This was right,
hmm
and um, let's get you back on here. I was just coming back because I just downloaded the file. I had this gentleman on, and now he lived in, oh, where did he live? In Croatia, and he was with his brother, who was younger than him, I believe. So I think, was he younger? No, I think he was actually a bit older than him. But they saw this. They were in their home, and and they heard something out their window, and they looked out their window, and they saw this entity.
Mhm.
And I asked him a question. I said, "Look, would you mind doing me a favor? What you remember, can you scour the internet and have a little look for something that looks as close as possible to what you saw that you can remember?" And he did. I'm gonna show you because it's the same thing, both in the bedroom. He had his brother, you had your sister. Now, funny enough, his brother done the same. His brother saw it, but his brother just went back to bed and just
Wow.
rolled over. Yeah, same thing. Really strange. Right. I'm gonna let's see if I can do this. Um right, image file. Right, okay, let's have a look. I'm gonna bring something up and you tell me.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Is it?
Yeah. It had red eyes on the one I had, and his mouth was open because he was growling and had like drool dripping off of his teeth.
Okay, okay, but uh, it, he said it had like a smile to it. This guy did. Did your one
Mhm.
have a smile?
No, not this one. It
Okay,
just looked angry and like we were in its way. Did
okay.
not want us there.
And this was outside your window, right?
Our backyard. So I forgot to mention, like we had a small basement, like one of those like half size basement crawl under ones. So it
Uh-huh.
wasn't like a full basement, but it was enough that it brought the window up to about 8 feet off the. So like if you went from the bottom of the house, the bottom of the window was 8 feet off the ground.
Yeah, outside 8 foot off the ground.
hmm And
Okay.
the chin of this thing was about the middle of the window. If that gives you an idea of how big this thing was.
Wow.
So it had to be at least what 8.5 feet at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's about right. That's about right for their height. Yeah. Did it?
So
What? How did it make you feel when you saw it? I mean,
yeah, at first I was absolutely shocked, and then I felt just this immense fear, just because, like I don't know why it brought this feeling of you need to leave. I don't want you here, kind of feeling, and it stayed there for a long time. I don't remember seeing it leave. I don't know if it disappeared or if I just fell asleep and it walked off or what
yeah.
happened. I really don't remember seeing it go. And
Crikey,
I
that's
just
strange. Do you know why that's strange? Because the guy I spoke to before in Croatia had the same type of sighting outside his bedroom window with his brother. He can't remember it going either. He
really,
can't.
huh?
He can't remember it
Yeah,
going.
isn't that
Almost like,
insane?
isn't it? It's almost like they kind of they put a spell on you.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Because, like, it took me years to remember this whole thing because it took me hearing someone else's account for me to really put all the puzzle together in my head again. But I was always afraid of windows from then. And even now, I still fear windows at night.
Yeah,
Um, so I always had that fear, but I couldn't remember why I had that fear exactly
yeah,
until I heard someone else's account of Dogman and stuff later.
mm, yeah, yeah.
And
Uh,
so
it's an odd one. It's an odd one. Did it look around the bedroom, do you know? I mean, did you take that in? Did it, like, kinda look around? Did it sort of spot your
it
sister?
mostly just looked at us. It
Did
would
it?
look at me and my sister, back and forth. Um, I really can't remember all the details because I was pretty
Right.
young then.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I
Okay.
do know after he left, um, for even nights and years later, I could every once in a while I feel the presence of this thing, and in the tree line I would see red eyes occasionally.
Right. So Every 19 years later? Well,
13 years later, actually. But yeah.
13, 13
But I
years later.
forgot to mention that we outside of our house the next day we told our parents, and there was footprints left in the ground with like claw mark. It looked like almost kind of human, almost, but not really. And it had like claws in the ground where it stood. So I'm not sure how
Seriously.
to explain that. So it's like the elongated feet. And I don't know if you've
Did it?
seen pictures of Dogman's feet, but it
Yeah,
looked a lot like that.
yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah. It kind of I recently went to a wood and I saw a print on its own, just on its own, no other prints near it. And that was almost like it looked like a almost like human foot, but had
Mhm.
claw marks where
Mhm.
toes were. And that was I'll see if I can bring that up. But that was a real strange. I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. Um it's the oddest thing. The footprints are, sometimes you get it where they've got a small narrow heel. They've got a very high arch, and all you see is the front pad and the heel.
Mhm.
Um, but uh, it's the oddest thing. So, um, you had that episode of the let's call it Dogman entity outside the window. Do
Okay.
you one last thing about that? Do you and your sister did your sister ever talk about it, or did she not mention it anymore?
Just when we were in our 20s, I don't remember exactly when, but we talked about it a little. Other than that, no, she never really brought it up.
Okay, yeah, all right then. Okay, I just wondered if it was like, something where, they go, "Oh, wow, do you remember that thing we saw at the window that time when we were kids?" I just thought it was one of those. But,
Mhm.
I guess that's part and parcel of what we witness. It kind of, we're almost not ashamed, but it's
And
so unbelievable that, it's hard for us to kind of, mention it,
yeah,
Um,
even with the footprints there, my parents didn't believe us, and to this day, they don't believe that we saw this thing. Mm,
oh, your
but
parents saw did they see the footprints, did they?
my dad did. He
Uh-huh.
he he brought us out there and showed us the footprint, and even with that, they still don't think we saw what we told them we saw. They thought someone was in a costume or something, or there there wouldn't be like bears or anything in that area, but yeah, they just said someone was in a costume. That's all it was. So, but
Oh,
I know
okay.
it wasn't. It was way too tall.
Yeah, sure. No, no, no. Yeah. No, I mean, and with both, your sister and yourself seeing it, yeah, you know, I mean, 100% I'm behind you. I really do, I think. I've got a couple of footprints, recent ones. I don't know if they were like this. Um, where you can see I just drew an outline of it. Uh, I didn't have any plaster of Paris, Chris, to actually make a plaster of Paris imprint of it, but you can see the toes at the front there. I did get another one as well, which might be a bit clearer. Let's have a look. Um, that
Yeah,
type of
that. Mhm.
is
That
that
one's better.
that type of thing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that's like kind of what I see, when I go out and I see like, but that one was strange. That's just on its own, nothing else around it. It's very odd, you know.
Right. That's why you think they disappeared or something, huh? Just
Yeah, yeah, it's like I don't know, it's so odd. You often hear it on other podcasts and that when people give accounts and they'll come across like one or two tracks and that's it,
mhm,
two footprints and then it doesn't lead anywhere. And it's like the oddest thing is like you say, they've been plucked, plucked up by something and moved, or they've been
mhm,
like dropped there and then they land, but they don't go anywhere.
mhm.
It's like very, very odd. Um, so, uh, and since then, 13 years later, when you got a bit older, in the same house, you saw in a backyard.
No, this wasn't the same house.
Oh, okay,
I it was when I first got I was married the first time. I was only 19,
okay,
and I was about 3 or 4 months pregnant with my first child. And at the at the apartment, there was some strange thing that was happening, and we had I don't know what you know about like anointing oil or holy water, holy oil, whatever, that sort of thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I know a little of it. Yeah,
so we had that sitting on our counter, and we were going to pray, and then uh, the bottle was picked up and it was floating around the room, and we never seen the presence of anything there. There was just the only witness of it was this bottle was floating around our room and it was going all around, and then it was slammed into the floor and shattered everywhere. And that was the only proof that we had that there was something there that we couldn't see.
okay. And where was that again? Whereabouts?
Um, it was this area was more rural. How do you say that word? RURAL.
Yeah, rural. Rural, yeah.
And
In the country.
yes, all around us there was farmland,
Yeah,
and but it was a government housing place, and so there were several like little duplexes on the land
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And then it's also where I saw the next dog. I believe it was a dog man, 100%. But
Okay, so
uh,
this where you were living, just to get the location right,
mhm,
it, it's on, a base, it's base housing?
mhm.
Okay, and so it has a fence around it at night and security, being base housing?
This one didn't. No.
Okay, okay.
There was a forest in the back of the property, so it was quite a dense forest there. And
Mhm.
then in the front of the property there was a lot of farmland, and then on the opposite side there was a little Baptist church, and by the Baptist church there was more farmland. So we were in the middle of nowhere there.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, go on, tell us, spill the beans, what happened?
Well, our on-site laundry was up this hill. It was probably a quarter of a mile from our building, where they put the laundry. I have no idea why they stuck it there, but it was closer to the forested area. And it was maybe 3:30 in the afternoon, and it was in the month of February of '97. And so I was out bringing my laundry, and so I had a basket in one arm, and my keys were in the other hand, and so I was walking over to do the laundry, and at the bottom of the hill there was, a little bit of trees, and it led up that hill, and I looked over, and there was this creature standing there, and it was eating something. I think some type of rodent, not robot, some type of rodent in its hand that it was chewing on.
So, okay, some roadkill.
Yeah, and I saw that this thing had hands, and it was kneeling like a person would kneel. And it was kind of dark in that area, so I didn't see all the details yet. But I wanted to avoid it, so I went around the backside of the hill and went up the hill to avoid it, and it was still down there. And I don't know if I made a sound or if it sensed I was there or what it was, but it stood up on its hind legs and and it started sniffing the air, and then it turned around and looked right at me. And it had like the glowing blue eyes, and so with it being closer, I could see a more canine look to it. So like the fairly long snout. It kind of had the Doberman shaped ears on the top of its head, and but I was trying, like, my mind was racing, trying to figure out what I should do next since this thing saw me. So you don't run from things that you don't know what they are,
Mm.
and obviously I couldn't go back down the hill or anything, so I'm walking backwards, trying to get away. And so I take about maybe 5 steps, and it bounded up that hill in like 2 steps. And and I think this one gave off a more curious vibe than dangerous at the time. If you know
Okay.
what I'm trying to say, yeah. It kind of tilted its head, and you know how canines do that and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it was trying to figure out what I was or what it was doing, but
When you
obviously
saw
I.
it when you saw it, Chris, did it was interesting you just mentioned, like canines do. Did you have the gut feeling that it was more canine or more man, more human-like? Your gut feeling at the time, do you
Well,
remember?
it's hard to. Well, at first I thought it was more canine, you know, um, but it was built more human, minus the legs. You know, they had the canine legs,
Mm,
but and the head was very canine. But you know how they always say that it was built like, Arnold Schwarzenegger on steroids or
mm,
whatever,
yeah.
or
Did
something.
you see I don't mean to be rude, but did you see any genitalia?
I I didn't notice any,
Okay,
but
okay, right.
but I was more focused on the head. The
Yeah, sure. Mm,
but I was like backing up, and I get to where the door is for the laundry room, and time seemed like it was in slow motion. I don't know. It's kind of, you go to like those horror movies and someone's scared, and so like everything goes in slow motion, and my hands were shaking so hard I couldn't control the keys. And so this thing walks right up to me, and it squats down and puts its nose almost right on my nose. It was really close. So I can't deny that this thing was a mistaken identity, obviously that close.
yeah.
So but it reached out to grab me, and I, like I said, I think, I don't know if it was curious trying to figure out what I was, but um about the time I got the door open, I don't know, I felt like there was an angel there or something in between us. I didn't see it, but you can sense, when someone's there, even if you can't see them.
Yeah?
And um, so I get inside and I lock the door and I breathe, and then it starts jiggling the door handle. Uh, and it jiggled it a few times, and then since I don't know why these things don't open doors. You know they can. I don't know, like they have, if they're trying to scare you or let you know that, hey, I know how to get this or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know what it is that they're trying to do, but
D mm.
sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
do you know, I think part of it, I think, is, one, it's the fear. They need to there's a need in them to instill fear. They have to instill fear because
Like
there'd be no
dominance.
problem for it to turn a handle or to open a lever handle. And, they got opposing thumbs, they got hands like
Mhm.
ours. They've got big
Yeah.
claws, longer
Mhm.
fingers. The palms are a little bit more elongated, bit more longer.
Yeah,
But other
yeah.
than that, they're more than
Like
capable.
raccoon-like.
Yeah, they are raccoon-like, exactly, yeah,
Much
just a
bigger, obviously, but
bigger
yeah.
version. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's, do you know that is funny though? Yeah, I don't know why they don't. Could it be also, in a lot of medieval texts and stuff, and it goes back to vampirism, they haven't been invited. Now, maybe if you had
Ah.
invited it into the room,
Yeah.
don't try it, don't try
Yeah,
it.
that would be kind of a dumb thing to do, huh? But,
Uh-huh, yeah,
yeah, and
but
then I think this thing was about at least as tall as the other one, because it towered over me when it stood all the way up, and it actually had to bend over because there was this window over by the door, and it bent over to look in the door, and I don't know what they do, but you taps at the window and stuff, and I eventually hid behind one of the machines, waiting for it to leave, and it started walking around the building, and I could hear its claws on the like siding of the building on the side, and it walked all the way around like that, but it didn't really leave any marks. I don't know how they're able to do that. It's just they could leave long marks if they wanted to, but it just like barely scraped it just enough to taunt me or whatever. I don't know, but then oh, I forgot
uh,
to mention earlier. This one had a smile on its face when it looked in the window before I hid. That kind of creeped me out enough that that's why I hid.
Chris,
so
Chris, the doors, were they loot those, in the laundry, in the States and a lot of the laundry outbuildings, if I remember rightly when I was over, they they were louvered doors, they got like these wooden louvers,
yes,
they're angled down,
yes, yes.
so they're not particularly glass, but it's also stops rain, but wind can get in as well. Did it have that? Did it have those type of doors, or were they glass?
It was not. It wasn't glass. It was some type of wood.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
How long was it there for?
Um. Well, I sat there maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and when I finally looked again, its head was facing the forest, and then I saw it get down on all fours. And so then I went to the window to make sure it left, and I sat there for a bit and stuff. But I watched it go into the forest before I did anything else. And just before it reached the trees, it turned around and looked, and then ran. So so it was probably maybe a 10-15 minute encounter total.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Has it
But
affected you? Has it affected you growing up, in your life?
yeah, I've had nightmares for years off and on, and um and I always just feel like I'm being watched. Like I'm home alone right now even, and I don't feel alone
Mm,
and stuff. So I don't know if that's all in my mind or if there's really stuff there.
yeah, yeah.
So
Okay. It it's
and
it yeah, it's, the thing is it opens up to further, you have one encounter and it just opens up to more, doesn't it?
mhm.
It's,
Oh, I forgot to tell you too. My first home, uh, someone burned the house down completely. Um, it's like I don't know if they thought that thing was still in the area or what it was, but it was just out of the blue. Someone burned it down when we weren't home,
Uh,
and you were the first person I told that to, by the way.
okay. Thank you.
So
No, thank you. Thanks for
I
sharing it.
think that's odd. I don't know if the government did that or it just seems strange because it was the only house in the area that was burned down.
Was it the only one?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. You know, when it was happening, it was burning. How soon did the fire brigade come? Did the fire service come quite quickly, or did they just let you know? Because a lot of times, if they wanted it burned down, they're going to say to the fire service, "Let hang back, let it burn."
I'm
You know.
not sure, but when we seen it, there wasn't much left of it. So
Oh, okay. So it
because we
must have.
were, I don't know if we were shopping. I don't know where we were. I can't remember, but yeah, it
How
got
would
burned
they?
down.
Was your home sort of known then? Was it known for the sightings of this Dogman entity?
I have no idea. I mean, like I said, I mean, uh,
No, what I'm saying
I
is,
try to tell kids at school, so maybe someone got, when
yeah,
you're young, you have friends, you talk. So I told friends at
yeah.
school, so maybe the word got around that we seen something, and they might have thought it was something crazy. But if
Mm,
the government heard about it or
yeah.
something, I mean, I
You
don't
see,
know, something like
you
that
you
happened, or
it may have been, I mean, if your pop saw the footprint, then, uh, he may, so he didn't sort of like, scare you or your sister, he may have, quietly this would have been me, I would have quietly asked the neighbours, "Hey, Dave, did you see anything last night? Did anything go through
Mhm.
your garden? Did it set your cameras off? Did it, set any security lights off?" He might have made inquiries in the area. You never know. Dad might have.
Mhm.
Even though he
Yeah.
came across to you as like, "Nah, it's nothing. It's nothing." He might have just said that because of you never know. I'm just guessing, but you know.
Right. Yeah.
Um, that's odd though. Your house, the only one as well.
Mhm.
That is strange. That is strange. Okay. So what happened after that? You must have moved, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Did you
so,
go into a motel? Did you live in a motel for a while?
uh, they rented a mobile home, or an RV or something like that.
Okay. 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 Right. What else happened?
Um, so, uh, since my first husband wasn't safe to be with, I remarried, and
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot to ask. You know the laundry room? After
oh
that
yeah,
happened, what happened with your husband then? What happened with your partner at that time?
okay.
Did you tell him? Did you tell him?
I came back home. Um, he said I was pale, like I seen something like a ghost or something. And I didn't know what to call it, so I said I saw some sort of demon dog. And he was like, "Oh yeah, right, sure you did." But he believed I saw something because of how pale I was when I
Mm,
came back.
yeah.
Yeah. So but my second husband, now he's the reason I started doing the research because lived in Northern California, and he was a hunter, and I don't know what year this was, but he was in his 20s, and they were hunting deer, and they went late in the afternoon. They just kind of did a spur of the moment type thing, and so they weren't really having any luck. And so they separated, to go one more look around. And so my husband well, he wasn't my husband yet, but he looked and he saw a deer, and so he picks up his rifle and looks at in the sights of this thing,
Uh-huh.
and he was about ready to pull the trigger when all of a sudden he sees this black hand. And so he's like, "What in the world?" And obviously, unless you can identify something, you don't shoot. And he wanted to
Uh-huh.
make sure it wasn't a human or something. And so he looks up, and it part of the body's behind a tree, and it's like looked over, like peekabooing over and looking at him. And so he could see most of one side because it was just kind of hanging onto the tree and bent over. And so he saw the canine leg and like the snout and the ears and stuff. And his cousin came around, and he was so scared that he couldn't move and he couldn't talk. So he's trying to yell, and all he can get out is a whisper at his cousin. And he goes, "I just saw Bigfoot," and his cousin's laughing at him and stuff. And so his cousin gets over there and he looks up the hill, and this thing's gone, like no trace of it at all. And the deer was gone too. So I think this was a younger one because he said it was maybe 6.5 feet tall, and it was only like 15 feet away from him. So
Right.
I think it
So
might
he
have been like a teenager or something. I don't know,
yeah, yeah.
but it was smaller. And so one day we were talking, and he brought this thing up to me, and he called it a deformed Sasquatch, right? And I'm like, "Well, explain it to me." And so he told me about the snout and the ears on top of the head and the canine legs. And I'm like, that don't sound like a Sasquatch to me.
Yeah.
And so I started researching on the web, and I came up. They have the types and stuff on, like Vic Cundiff. I don't.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Weekend brilliant,
and,
yeah.
and so I showed him that picture that Vic had on his site, and he had some the variants or types or whatever on there, and he saw one of them, and he told me that's what he saw.
Okay. I'm here.
And so then
Yeah, I
I
know.
started.
I'm here still. That's all right. Don't know what happened to me. I'm sorry.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the picture back now. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. 1 minute. I'll get that back. But it's about let's have a look. Ba-da-bum. There we go.
there
Right.
you are.
Okay. Yeah, I'm there. I don't know what happened there. The camera went. So, you showed him a picture from one of Vic Cundiff's shows, yeah?
Hmm.
And what did he say to
And
that?
yeah, and he said, "Yeah, that's what I saw." He said it looked like that, only it was halfway hiding behind a tree and stuff. And I'm like, uh, "Okay, so this thing's called a dogman." And he goes, "Yeah, that is what I saw." And after
Wow.
that, he had stopped hunting, after he saw that thing. And his mom couldn't figure out why, but I think I found out the reason right there. Um, anyways, that's when everything started coming back to me, and I realized what I'd seen was a dog man. So,
Where was
um,
he hunting, Chris? What forest was that or woods? What
I
area?
don't, I don't remember the name. It's really weird. Your mind protects you from things, and when he died just before the COVID breakout,
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
and when he died, it's like so much detail just left me.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Yeah.
just lost a lot of memory,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
and so I don't remember the name, but it was
Okay.
somewhere in the northern part of California.
Northern part of California. Okay. Okay then. Right. And it must have affected him. Did it affect him? Did he like kind of come back and you won't believe what I've seen, that kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And he told his mother, because she believes in Bigfoot. She's the one I was telling you about that saw the her cousin saw the Bigfoot give birth laying against the tree.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah. If
okay.
you don't mind
So
just quickly, yeah, approaching that again, what happened? Just for the people at home so they can.
okay. So me and his mother were talking. I don't remember if it was sometimes he was still around or if it was after he passed, but we were talking about Sasquatch and stuff. And I wonder, I think it's because she said something about the fact that he never went hunting again. And so I told her about that story. And so she told me about her cousin, and she said he was in his backyard, which was maybe a couple acres,
Mhm.
and it was fairly near a forest. And he heard this like a screaming sound, but it was an odd type of sound that he'd never heard before. He said it sounded similar to like the siren that they blow whenever there's like oh sorry bad weather event or something. The
Yeah,
storm
yeah.
alarm. He said it
The
sounded similar to that.
the siren that goes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my head.
No, that's
But
fine. No, 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 I get it.
um,
Yeah, no, that's
anyways,
okay.
and so he went to investigate it,
Mhm.
and so he hid behind a tree and was watching this Sasquatch in labor, and he looked, and about the time she was give gave birth to this thing and to the baby Sasquatch, and he waited until she started breastfeeding. And so he went to his house to get a camcorder to record this thing because he knows no one's going to believe me. And he wasn't gone more than probably 15 minutes. And when he came back, there was no sign that this thing had ever been there. There was no, she was gone. There was no, they didn't even leave any footprints. There was the placenta, everything was gone. And so um, he didn't know what happened, but he wasn't able to videotape it.
Okay. Was it, did he tell you if it was squatting? I'm just trying to get a bit of detail. Was it squatting up against a tree or it was?
Yes, it was. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Uh, did he mention how big the baby was in respect to.
He said probably if we had given birth to it, it was maybe like 10, 15 pounds, probably. But I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. I mean, seriously, that is something else, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
When you heard that, I bet you thought, well, I mean, especially, yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Obviously, I believe that these things exist after the stuff I've seen. So you can't say to someone who's seen stuff these things aren't real.
yeah.
Obviously, because but yeah,
They,
people keep telling me they're not real, but I know they are.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's frustrating, isn't it, when people say, no, that it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
But you almost, want them to experience something like it just to say, look,
Mhm.
join the club. We've seen it. We've
Mhm.
seen.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was a bit of a segue over, just I wanted to get that account down so that, because I remember you telling me it, and I just wanted the people at home to hear that because it's just incredible
Yeah.
that is a one-off, witnessing a Bigfoot giving birth.
Yeah. Isn't
Um,
that amazing? That would be something to see, wouldn't it?
oh, wouldn't it? I know. That'd be like, whoa, that's just like
Mhm.
um, okay, so where were we at? Where were we up to before that?
We were
Oh,
talking about my late husband. Yeah.
you were.
and,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Bless
and
his heart.
so Yeah.
Um,
But I think I've told you. Well, the guy I'm with now, obviously, doesn't believe in Sasquatch or Dogman or anything like that, and he in fact told me to never speak of these things again and stuff. But you know, you have to get it out. You have to let people know they're out there. You know,
mhm, yeah.
um, because people have the right to know that they're out there and they're real, and whether they're safe or not safe, it's people need to know. So,
Oh, for sure.
um,
Oh, for sure.
but
And you know, uh, living in, with all due respect, living with a partner who doesn't want you talking about it and stuff. It you're very brave. You're very brave to share this with us. You know,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
because yeah, because you still have to live in that house.
hmm
So
yeah. And
um,
we were. Sorry.
no, no, no. I mean, it's not something that will get you into trouble if he watches this, but he won't. He shouldn't watch this, should he?
No, he wouldn't purposely go look for it,
No,
obviously.
no. Okay.
So, but yeah, we were going for a walk, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, and we heard this strange howl. Um, and it was very loud, and it wasn't anything that either of us had heard before. I mean, I've heard the howls of the dog man and stuff on YouTube, but
Mm.
he hasn't listened to none of that. But to me, it sounded very much like what I've heard. And he jokingly was mocking me and says, "There's your dog, man." You know, but obviously he didn't really believe it, but he was saying that. And I truly believe that there was one there. And a couple weeks later, I was sitting outside and I heard that same howl. Uh,
Okay.
but I haven't seen anything that makes it like he was here or anything. But obviously, couldn't be too far away. Or one, I don't know why I said he, but whatever it is, I don't know if they're migrating or because it's very hot here, and I don't think they like the heat. If I remember right, I don't know, but
Mm.
at least that's what I've heard. That people see them more in the fall and stuff. But
Yeah, yeah. I've got to concur with that. It's been very, it's been for me when I go out, in forests and woods and that looking. This summer has been very quiet, really quiet. And
mhm.
we had that over here. We had a week or two ago. We had the heat wave, which was really, for us, really hot.
Yeah.
Uh, by our standard, it was getting into
Mhm.
the 30s and stuff, but um, you are right. I don't think they like the heat. They don't particularly like the heat. I tend to get more sightings and stuff towards autumn. Yeah, the fall,
Mhm.
coming into winter, tend to get
Yeah.
more active.
Well, I grew up in Oregon, and from what I hear, it's a lot like the weather in England and stuff there. It's
Yeah,
more like a lot of rain and stuff and cooler and stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. No, I think so because uh, um, you've got, I think in Oregon, haven't you got like tropical forests as well? You've got kind of like rainforest almost. They're like,
yeah, there's
um,
some of that there. I think most in America, probably more like the tropical would be like probably Florida, I would imagine. I don't
mm,
know. I've never been there, but they have a lot of tropical storms there. So,
yeah, they
um,
do. Yeah, yeah, no, they do.
but
Um, they've got, uh, yeah, no, yeah, they do have a lot of storms. I remember being on Daytona Beach when a storm hurricane was coming in.
oh
It
yeah,
was yeah, the motel we were staying in had to shutter up and close the swimming pool, and everyone
wow,
was, like, kind of ordered into the basement and stuff, yeah. So they get a
Yeah.
lot of they get a lot of storms over there. Um, do you think you're sort of tagged by this? Do you think
I
that
would
they
imagine once you're open to it, I think that they seek you out or something. Not necessarily just Dogman, but all in the general. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but a couple weeks ago, I heard it was totally silent outside, and I heard this. It started out like a grinding sound, like metallic, like the sound of a generator.
I remember you telling me. Yeah.
Yeah, and um, and there it was like maybe 11 o'clock at night, so it wasn't like it was early that anybody would be working, doing construction or anything at that time. So I believe it was a portal. I mean, especially hearing these howls and stuff. I don't know if maybe one of the dog man was, or any other creature was jumping through this portal, or I didn't see it, but it was it lasted a few, maybe a couple minutes, and
Mm.
then this it was the sound went away, and it was quiet for a little bit longer, and then all of a sudden you start hearing the night sounds. So
Okay, to give an idea for people, can you not give away your location, but your immediate surroundings? What are we looking at? Is it a town? Is there loads of houses near
well,
you?
we're just apartments where I'm at, and then across the way there's apartments, and then there's an empty lot. And it was around the empty lot I heard the sound.
Okay, okay.
So
Oh
I guess
yeah.
you could say a well-known portal that's near us is in Sedona, Arizona. We're pretty close to Arizona.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know? I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a
I think.
very well-known one. I guess the Native
Yeah.
Americans talk about things that they've seen. Some of the pictographs they talk about. I think they said something about giants or something being in the area,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
would pick up
Yeah.
their tribesmen and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. No, I do remember now. Now you mention it. Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember
so
that. Yeah, that area. Yeah. I haven't been there, but I remember like hearing a podcast on it or something. I heard something about it mentioned. Yeah. Um, do you have um I mean obviously you don't like do you still go out in the woods or if you don't
I don't have a way to get there anymore. I don't drive because of my eyesight and stuff, and obviously my husband ain't going to go out looking.
know.
But and we're not near any forest here because it's desert, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Um,
Um,
but
have you had anything else happen to you? Because a lot of times when people witness these things, you get other kind of paranormality happening. Any like
yeah,
poltergeist happenings?
yeah. I don't know if you remember me telling you about the hand that came out of nowhere. Um, I
If you can
was
tell us again, that'd be great.
I was in my room getting dressed, and so I wasn't paying attention to anything around me, and and I saw in the corner of my eye some movement, and so I looked, and um, I was sitting on the bed, and then there's like a wall right by the bed, and it looked like it was the arm was extending out of this wall, and it was black, and the hand was huge, probably the size of my face. I would, if I would guess, and it had like four fingers. And as it got closer to my face, it got almost to where it could touch my face, and then it disappeared. So it was really strange. I've never heard of anything like that before.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Mhm.
And you were awake?
Yes, it was in the morning time, so like 9:30 a.m. ish, somewhere around there.
Okay, right, in the morning time. The, the hands that came through it came through the wall, yeah? Came through the wall?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, was there any, uh, glowing around the wall when the hands came through? Any glow?
I didn't notice anything like that.
Oh,
Just
okay.
it was
And
strange.
yeah, and the hands weren't, hairy or they were hairy? You know, the arms?
Mhm. It just looked like a black arm and hand. I didn't see a lot of detail because
Okay.
it happened so quickly and stuff. So
Yeah,
it
sure.
just
Right, okay. Um, and it reached towards you, did it?
yes, it was pretty close to my face and like probably about right here, and then it disappeared.
Okay. Right, okay. You've got a crucifix anywhere on the wall or somewhere?
Um, somewhere we have a couple crosses around here somewhere.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'd probably put one, on the wall or by the wall at least, in that room,
yeah,
where the
it'd
arms
probably
are
be a
coming.
good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I probably would do. That's, one thing that seems, people tend, they scoff at the idea, but, the name of Jesus Christ and
Yep.
has a lot of power with these entities. They just don't like it at all. You know, they don't like it. Because they know
Right.
who the boss is basically. And
Hmm.
they don't go messing around. So yeah, next time don't get frightened or worried about that. It's like I say, these entities. You know, they feed on fear, don't they? They feed on fear.
Yes, they do.
You know. Um, they'll try everything put at all in the book, to try and make
Yeah.
people feel as feared as possible. Almost like to the point, like with the Men in Black, and people witness
Hmm.
like these Men in Black entities. Once again, we have the thing like when you were caught in a laundry room and we were discussing
Right.
about, and you said to me, you said a valid point. It makes you wonder, Phil, why they don't just open the door and come in. It's
Right.
the same with the Men in Black. They wait at the threshold when you
Hmm.
they wait to be. They might turn up at 11, 12 o'clock at night, but and they'll come up with some cock and bull story, some load of rubbish saying about, oh, we've come because you've witnessed a Dogman, you've witnessed a UFO, you've witnessed whatever, but they won't be able to come in unless you invite them. Um,
Hmm.
and that's another thing with them, and they also like to instill a certain amount of fear.
Probably a protection that God does or something to make sure that you're safe or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Basically with me, I just quote the Lord's Prayer, and that kind of works for me.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think I think just a strong belief, and I think a strong belief is all that's required. Um, you know, um, I'm not getting on to the Bible bashing at all. I'm not sort of, everyone's got their beliefs in this world, and but it is just a fact. It is a fact with these entities. That's the one thing that and I know for a fact, it's the one thing that they're fearsome of. Which again, I don't know why. I don't know why, but um, maybe they are demonic, but I don't
And
think so.
I have this weird idea, but I hear a lot of Christians say it um, that they're part Nephilim and part animal. So it's not like completely evil, but that's where like the supernatural side could come from that. Because they delve in seems like two different worlds. Like they have the physical and they have the supernatural. And so this idea makes a lot of sense because Nephilim are half like angel and half human. So that would make sense why they look part human, and then their intelligence could be from the Nephilim,
Mm.
and and then the animal side of them. So like because they you know mix DNA with things and stuff, and
Yeah,
that's my idea. It doesn't mean it's correct or anything, but that's how I feel. It
yeah.
makes a lot of sense too. So
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea as well. That makes perfect sense. That does make perfect sense. Do you know, I feel that they um have just got a different perspective as well, and don't they? And which does mete out what you say about the Nephilim as well. They kind of like got a higher perspective. So it's almost as if like in your apartment you can see out the window. And when you look out the
mhm,
window, you're seeing that perspective. You're seeing what you can possibly see, as far as you can see, depending on the height of your apartment, right?
mhm,
It's almost like they are able to, they're on top of the apartment block looking down.
mhm,
So they can see basically everything. So,
right,
and it's that kind of consciousness that they have. They're able to see the whole, the beginning, the end, the distance,
right,
everything. You know, a big hero of mine, John Keel, once wrote that he said the same thing, that they're just on a higher perspective to us. That
mhm,
they can view more, see more. Um, and I think that goes a long way with these things. That's
mhm,
probably why they only leave one print and then just like disappear. They're able to. I don't know. It's odd. They're kind of like I don't know. They're kind of like uh able to, because they've got a higher view, a more broader view, maybe even to the extent of a view of the past, present, and future. They're able to play with us. They're able to,
yeah,
kind of, I'm going to leave one print, and you guys got to guess where I am. That type of thing.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. But the hands coming out the
yeah,
wall, that is odd. That must have scared you.
yeah. It did. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, so
Yeah,
but
yeah. Being daytime as well.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't expect stuff like that to happen in a day. Although I've heard even like Dogman and Sasquatch have been seen in the daytime. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that a lot where people say, "Oh, they only come out at night." But do you know, I have more luck during the day than I do seem to at night. I go out at night. I'm due to go out soon. I've got another exploration in the wood to do. That's the
mhm,
nighttime. I don't mind going out at night. I don't mind that. Because I always feel more at home in the woods and forests anyway. For some reason, I don't.
yeah, a
I
lot of
don't feel
people do.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't feel too stressed at all about it. And uh, but daytime, I've gotten some of my best footage during daytime, and that's truth, Chris.
nice.
Honestly, yeah. Um, but yeah, so I think these things. Yeah, I think they're easier to see in a way during the daytime than they are at night
Yeah,
because they're
definitely.
master concealers. Master concealers. What do you think to them sort of morphing out? What's your idea on how they kind of cloak? What's your
Yeah,
take?
um, I really don't know. I mean, I've maybe similar to like a polar bear, how they have the iridescent hair. I think that's the right word, where it's like you see through it,
Yeah.
and so, like they can blend into their surrounding. And that's why like polar bears are white, is because they're in the ice and snow. I don't know,
Mm.
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Makes sense. Yeah. They're, uh, they're huge, aren't they, polar bears?
Yeah,
They
yeah, they
are
are.
mammoth. Yeah, they're like a, brown bear, black bear, nothing compared to a polar bear.
Yeah. Have you heard
Um,
of the grizzly bears, where they mix the DNA of grizzly with a polar bear?
no.
I guess some museum somewhere is supposed to have the remains of one, but I guess because the grizzly bear like did it in the wild or something. Not, we didn't mix them together. Someone just found them like that or something. But say they're a more aggressive bear because they have, the grizzly and the polar bear temperament together, and they're a lot more aggressive. Yeah.
No. Well, I've never heard that. Wow, I wouldn't want to come up against that.
No, I'm probably not explaining it very well, but you could probably find it on YouTube or Discover
Okay.
Channel or something. Yeah.
Uh, Now you mentioned it, I'm gonna definitely have a look. I'm definitely gonna have a look. What do you think, in your opinion, that we're dealing with this Dogman entity?
Um,
What is it, Chris?
well, I think that some DNAs have been blended. Uh, There talk about in, for instance, Genesis 6, how the giant or angels slept with humans and stuff, and then I don't know if you've heard of the Book of Enoch, but
Yeah,
they
yeah,
took it out of the Bible. I believe it was a part of the Bible at one time, and um, I think that at least the first Book of Enoch is pretty close to being true. I don't know if all of it is, but it talks about them mixing the DNA of animals and with, like some of the Nephilim and stuff. And I think that's where these things come from. I think, um, I know they talk about how there was a flood and stuff, but often in the Bible, even after the flood, they talk about all these giants and Nephilim. And so I think that they mixed the DNA with these Nephilim and came up with a bunch of strange creatures over the years. And then on top of that, I also think the military takes these already mixed DNA creatures and tries to make protectors out of them or whatever, guards.
yeah,
So I think there's just a lot of different things over the years, and who knows?
yeah.
I don't know. I might sound
No,
crazy. I don't know.
it's no. I just asked that because it's good to know what people's. There's no right or wrong answer, is there? Because nobody really knows yet. All we know is that they're there.
I mean,
But
it come from somewhere, huh?
yeah, yeah, they're there. But and evidently, I heard a couple of stories where they've been spotted. Also, Arizona, the desert. They've been seen. Cars have been outpaced by them. Have seen them coming out the
Hmm.
desert, crossing roads, things like that. So they're in all kinds of terrain, aren't they? They're quite adaptable creatures. You know.
Right.
Uh,
They would have to be.
yeah, they
But
would.
and I
Yeah,
think the reason there's more sightings is because people are cutting down more forest and putting up more homes and businesses and stuff, and so they have
yeah,
to come out of somewhere. And and then also people put their cabins in the woods, and so they're in their territory, So
yeah.
I think that's why there's more sightings.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, with the forest, they are taking away forests, so
Hmm.
no, makes sense, doesn't it? Does make
Yeah.
sense.
Hmm.
Wow. So do
I
you
mean, why
think
not? Bears come out here, so out
Yeah,
of the woods
yeah,
and
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do for sure. Just to quickly recap, just wanna, clear up one small thing. Have you got time? Have you got
maybe a couple minutes more.
Okay, okay. Um, uh, what was the most interest really one of most because you saw the whole thing in one go at the lawn when you were doing your laundry, that one
Mhm.
there. Uh, when it was eating a roadkill, um, was it bothered by you at first, or was it just eating the roadkill? Did it take any
It
notice of
didn't
you?
it didn't seem to even notice me, and, I'm sure it probably knew I was there, but it was like, "Eh, who cares?" Just a human, but
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. But then when it was done eating, I guess it figured that it might as well see what I was or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, sure. Yeah. No, that's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Well, I'll tell you, Chris, listen, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
giving your accounts, we really do appreciate it. I appreciate it,
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me too.
no worries, no worries. And I hope that you do sort it out, because we have these experiences, and whether you like it or not, we can't undo what we've seen, can we?
No,
So
no,
maybe with your partner, he'll come around one day and sort of accept the fact. So,
right.
but listen, thank you, and God bless you. I do appreciate it once again you coming on to share with us. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, and God bless you.
God bless you as well. That's great. Absolutely lovely lady. And thank you very much for joining us and listening to her accounts. And as I say, if you would be so kind, like, share this out so we can get her accounts out there, you know, um, because that's the reason that these people come on so that they can share these accounts. They're very personal to these people. Um, and I appreciate them doing it. So least we can do, let's try and get them shared out, like the video. It helps the algorithm. And yeah, please just subscribe, just let me know that kind of I'm doing the right stuff and bringing the right stuff for you. Do appreciate it. uh as for me, I shall say good night, and God bless and take care.